First you see, if the path reference Bn is equal to 3 lambda by 2, then what happens? If Bn is equal to 3 lambda by 2 and theta is equal to theta 1 dash, then this equation becomes 3 lambda by 2 is equal to d sin theta 1 dash, or sin theta 1 dash is equal to 3 lambda by 2d. This is the position of first secondary maxima. First secondary maxima. Why is first secondary maxima? Why maxima is obtained now? You see here Bn, the path reference, is equal to 3 lambda by 2. This means this slit AB is now assumed to be divided into 3 equal parts, each of with lambda by 2. Okay, so this shows what? There is a point in the upper half of the lambda by 2 and there must be a corresponding point in the next half, so that light from these 2 points can reach at point P with a path reference of lambda by 2. So they produce minima. But for the last half of the lambda, last 1 by 2 or last lambda by 2, there is no other to produce a destructive. That means this part only is there to produce maxima here. So that's why it is called first secondary maxima. Now again see here, if Bn is equal to 5 lambda by 2 and theta is equal to theta 2 dash, then that equation becomes 5 lambda by 2 is equal to d sin theta 2 dash, or sin theta 2 dash is equal to 5 lambda by 2d. This equation indicates the position of secondary maxima. Why? Because in this case the slit AB is assumed to be divided into 5 equal parts. Light from this part and this part produce destructive interference. That means the interference due to this part of the light and this part of light produce minima. From this and this also produce minima, but this part will remain behind, which will produce maxima. As this part having less intensity of light, this maxima is having intensity less than that of the first secondary maxima. So next, for if you calculate the nth secondary maxima, we can add sin theta and dash equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. And here, as slit is divided into several parts now continuously, the width of the slit gradually decreases, which can produce maxima at point P, so that the intensity of the maxima gradually decreases away from the center. Next, let us find the position of nth secondary maxima from the center. Means this yn dash value will calculate. You know here theta is very small, so in place of this sin theta n, we can write as tan theta n dash, which is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda divided by 2d. And tan theta n dash equal to, you know, the formula is P by B. So this will write as yn dash by capital D, which equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d, or implies yn dash equal to 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2d. Clear? Now between two maxima there is a minima is obtained, a minima is formed. For the width of each minimum, width of each minimum is equal to yn dash minus yn minus 1 dash. If we calculate this, we are getting yn dash equal to this much, 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2d minus 2n minus 1 plus 1 lambda d by 2d. Means here in place of this n I am writing here n minus 1 for yn minus 1 dash, which you have to solve. We are getting lambda d by d. So this indicates what? The width of each maxima and minima are of equal, but except central maxima. All maxima and minima are of equal width, but except central maxima. Why? The central maxima extend to both sides of the center. So the width of the central maxima is double the width of the each maxima or each minima, which is equal to 2 lambda d by d. This is the width of the each width of the central maxima. Then what's the angular width of the central maxima? The angular width of central maxima also equal to 2 theta. That means 2 lambda by d also. This is the width of the central maxima. Clear? So if we draw how diffraction is obtained on the screen, then it becomes like this. You see, this is the position of central maxima is having more intensity. Then this is the central maxima. Then first secondary minima. Then first secondary maxima. Second secondary minima. Second secondary maxima. Third secondary minima here. Then third secondary maximum, like this it will continue. At this side also first secondary minima, then first secondary maxima, then second secondary minima here, then you are getting second secondary maxima, then third secondary minima, and so on. It is continuing. From the graph, what will conclude? The intensity of maximum gradually decreases away from the center on both sides of the screen. Okay. So what is the difference between this diffraction pattern and interference pattern? Now one difference is in diffraction pattern all bright fringes have equal intensity, but here in diffraction pattern the intensity of the bright fringes gradually decreases away from the center. Okay. Next term is Fresnel distance. What is the Fresnel distance? That I am writing as ZF. Already you know yn is equal to n lambda d by d. For first order, we can write y equal to only lambda d by d. So what is Fresnel distance? Now you see here, if the spreading of the diffraction pattern to one side from the center, from center to one side means either up or down, if this spreading in one side is equal to the slit width, means if y is equal to d, then the distance between slit and screen is called Fresnel distance. That means d is called as the Fresnel distance. So if you put the value here, we can write it y is equal to d. Let us put d is equal to lambda, d is your ZF by d, or ZF is equal to d square by lambda. This is the Fresnel distance. Okay. Thank you.